so don't get it twisted. Deal with women strictly on the terms enlisted. Keep it simple, boy, learn the truth. The weak play games, but the strong bring proof. She can't shake a man who owns his terms. It's returning to fire and the world gon' burn. Tag it 20, you know the name. Dropping lessons on them name, playing the same. No pedestal, nah, don't elevate low. A queen only follows when the king says go. Too many masked up trying to impress. Losing themselves, caught up in the stress. Be the man, don't fold for the crowd. Speak your truth, strong will, stand proud. She earns a spot, but a king never bends for a second thought. No validation needed, power on reserve. Rule your world, let her match your nerve. Yeah, manhood restored, the king's in the game. Cags acting 20, remember the name. Strictly on your terms, you know what to do. Her debit card works, but the throne's on you.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, ladies and gents, it's been a minute since I gave y'all a solo joint. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm back at it. Happy New Year to those of y'all that are still here. You got all of your faculties, your limbs, you got your health, right? So let's go ahead and get into this. Let me plug the joint right quick. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? Oh, man. I probably should have did a live joint talking about this because there's so many branches of the tree that I can get into, right? Again, sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? I'm going to hit y'all with this. Trojan horse. You mean that they are being used to hide someone's true purpose or intentions? In many cases, when you're being charmed or dealing with a woman who's very enchanting and she's attempting to seduce you or beguile you. Beguile means to charm in a very deceptive way. A lot of times women will use, and I'm not putting this on all women, but a lot of times women will use your sexual desire for them. Okay, they'll use their body, their beauty, and the allure of having sex with them. They'll use that as a Trojan horse, right? They'll use that as a Trojan horse to conceal their true purpose and their intentions. Okay, this is why I tell you guys all the time, getting the woman is not as important as how you got her. Why is she here? I'm going to share some video clips with y'all in just a moment, and we're going to break this down. When you're dealing with a woman, now, here's the thing, right? Because I don't want guys to be overly concerned by why a woman is there, right? If you're dealing with a woman strictly on your terms, you can circumvent the fact that she might attempt to seduce you with malicious intent. Oh, because when I tell you, women will seduce you with malicious intent. Yes, they will. I'm not saying all women, but there are women out there that will seduce you with ill intent or malicious intent, right? And oftentimes they have an agenda, right, that's in direct opposition of yours. But the problem with a lot of guys is because they're so captivated by how a woman looks, they're so captivated by her body, they're so captivated with the prospect of having sex with her that they can't see what they need to be seeing. Now, if you're strictly dealing with a woman on your terms, not only can you see it, you can see it coming because you're thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead of her. See, when you ain't got no game, you're never going to be in a position to think ahead of a woman. She's going to be thinking ahead of you, which is why, this is why you'll hear women say publicly, some women, men are easy. You'll hear women say that men are easy. And the reason why women will say, amongst other reasons, but one of the reasons why they'll say men are easy, because when it comes to sex, when it comes to a woman's beauty, men are easy. Men are very easy to conquer, right? See, a lot of guys, they'll look at having sex with women as some sort of conquest. But when it comes to women having sex with men, men are very easily to conquer, right? And it's not just about the sex. A woman can conquer a man easily and just use her feminine wiles, if you will, to get that man to do her bidding, right? Men are easy. Dudes with no game are super easy, right? This is why a lot of the passport bros, they're overseas, they think they're winning. Bro, you're sleeping with the enemy. How many times have you guys heard horror stories? Okay, and I'm just going to go off on a little side tangent. Horror stories about guys being overseas, right? There's a story right now where a guy brought this woman back from the Philippines, I believe. Right? He brought this woman back from the Philippines. He married her, brought her to the States. She immediately left his ass, divorced him. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? So let's go ahead and break this down a little further. Sleeping with the enemy means being close or intimate with someone who is your opponent or adversary, implying a sense of betrayal and hidden danger, as if you are vulnerable while you sleep. So when we talk about being vulnerable while you sleep, it can be figuratively, where your mind is sleeping, or it can be literal, where you guys are allowing women to spend the night with you when you just met these bitches. You don't know if she's friend or foe, bro. Just because she's letting you fuck, you don't know if she is friend or foe. Just because she's pleasant, she bat her eyes and she smiles at you, and she lets you ease up in her, that does not mean that she has your best interest in mind. That does not mean that she won't be adversarial at some point. You don't know if she is friend or foe. You don't know. Shout out to Jay Roman. We did the Manhood is the skill set joint. Y'all should check it out, by the way. 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday, including this Saturday. Come through and fuck with your boys, right? Myself, Miles Cunningham, and Jay Roman. Jay Roman told a story one time of how he had this chick at his spot. He just met this babe. He had her at the spot. I don't know if it was during the daytime or at nighttime, but he had this chick over at his spot. He, I guess, took a nap, fell asleep, or whatever. And when he awoke from his slumber, she referred to him by his whole government name, like first, middle, last, and everything. Now, when he met her, he didn't tell her his full government name. So he deduced from her calling him by his full government name that while he was asleep, she was snooping around the crib, and she must have picked up some mail. Now, I'm here to tell you guys, when you have a woman in your crib that you don't know like that, and she's picking up your mail and looking at your mail, that's a huge red flag. This is a nosy bitch, right? So when we talk about sleeping with the enemy, she's seductive, But what is she seducing you for? I got a couple clips. We gonna get to it. But before I get to it, let me get to this. Seduce means something close to attract. Beguile, which means to charm in a deceptive way, tempt, mislead. Women do that to you guys all the time. How many times do you guys set up a date with a woman and she flake on you? How many times? Right? How many times do you guys meet women on dating apps and they try and convince you to chat more on a dating app, only for you to try and set up a date later on, right? You acquiesce to that. Why? Because she's charming, she's alluring, she's cute, whatever the case may be, right? So what is she doing? She's tempting you. She's misleading you. She's giving you the misleading impression that what you want is right around the corner. If you only give her what she wants on the front end, you'll get what you want on the back end. You don't know if that bitch is friend or foe. You don't know. Real quick before we get into some of these video clips. On a Real Game No Theory podcast this past Sunday, right? We had a guy call in where he said he met this chick at a club, a bar, or something like that. Now, here's my caveat. Here's my disclaimer before I get further into this story. When these guys call in and they're telling their stories, some of these guys are full of shit. Okay, let me just be clear with that. Some of these guys are full of shit. Some of these guys are lying their ass off. Some of these guys are telling half stories, meaning they're purposefully omitting certain things because they don't want to be ostracized or criticized or ridiculed by us. So you have guys that call in and they flat out just lie. And you have other guys that call in and they tell half truths and shit, right? So I understand that sometimes if I use a phone call or something that was said to us on a live stream to illustrate a point, I understand very well that there could be some half truths in it, right? Or it could be a flat out lie, right? I don't know for certain, right? But regardless of that, I'm always going to make a point with anything that I tell you guys, right? Now, so a guy called in, he met a chick at a bar, club, whatever the case may be. Spent the night. Basically, the chick ended up just staying in the crib. Supposedly, she told him that her house burned down and she needed a place to stay. Guys, sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive. But what is she seducing you for? Now, I told that story to tell another. About 6 months to maybe a year ago, we got another call on the Real Game No Theory podcast, Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 Eastern, by the way. Come through, fuck with us, check it out. Where it was a very similar situation, where a guy met a young lady at a bar or club, took her home the same night. The next morning, he let her spend the night. Guys, he let her spend the night. The next morning, I guess he had to get up and go to work, or he just wanted her to leave. Tried to get her to leave. He had to call the police. Why am I telling these two stories? Before I tell you why I'm telling these two stories, let me tell you another story to further illustrate my point. Shout out to Steve the Dean and Lucario. They got the Tuesday show. Y'all should fuck with the homies. I believe it's at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I believe that's the time every Tuesday. So several months back, they got a call from a guy, Rekka. I think that's his name, right? A lot of y'all are familiar with that dude because he calls up Lucario frequently, right? He called in. He talked about a chick that he had come by his crib. And he was trying to convince her the whole time to have sex with him. After about 4 hours, they finally have sex. Right? A day or two or so later, she tells him, this is what he's saying on the phone call, right? And I might forget some of some of the details, but essentially this is what occurred. She told him, hey, I'm going to come by your house on this night and I'm going to stay with you. Right? And at first, he's feeling some type of way, but he is down to let it happen. Why? Because he's being seduced. He's being tempted. See, he thinks, even though his spidey senses are tingling, like, what's up with this chick? Because he's ruled by his lower half, because his judgment is clouded by his dick, and he's being seduced with the flesh, with sex, he can't see what's really going on. So at some point while he's telling the story, he's also talking about how this young lady has issues at home where she don't get along with her peoples. So once he said that, I knew what it was. Bro, the only reason why she's fucking with you is because she needs a hideaway, a getaway. She needs some place to go lay her head at or to go spend some time at so she can get out of the house. So the only reason why she's fucking with you is because you have a spot for her to get away from her people. That's why she's fucking with you. Those two stories that I told you, the reason why those women had sex with those guys is because they're fucking for shelter. Sleeping with the enemy, she's seductive. But what is she seducing you for? You always need to be cognizant of a woman's agenda. If her agenda is not in alignment with yours, she could potentially be an adversary. I need guys to understand that. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with these women and they fucking with you, they have a hidden agenda. Not all women, but some. They have a hidden agenda. But you don't know what that agenda is. It's because you're asleep. Not literally, figuratively. You're asleep here. You're not thinking because you're too focused on fucking. So let's go ahead and get into some of these motherfucking videos, and we're gonna break this shit down only as your boy does real quick. Let's get into this one first.
Okay, you say be a man, I'll be like, hey man, I can't deal with her, bro. She jumped to the conclusion, her friends will. Now I'm a no good ass. If I stand on boundaries and be like, you know what, bro, that whole too drama, bro. I tried everything I had 100%.
That wasn't everything.
Hold on. So what the f I supposed to do? Who I supposed to be?
You secure her.
How? You're supposed to be secure in everything I've already been doing. What are you talking about? No.
If your partner not secure in your word,
So hold on, there's something inside of you. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing as me securing you. My word should secure you if you're always secure.
She damaged.
All right, so you need to go.
You're not a team player.
What's a team player? Me checking in. I'm a probation officer. Now I gotta tell you everything. And then if my plans change or something, then I'm lying. I don't call you when you're on your job, whatever you're doing. I just call you. I hope you good, baby. I love you.
No, you want too much free space. That's too much.
That's where you up at. That's where you let me know you don't with me. Don't fuck with me. You talking about free space?
So, what are they talking about? Right? There's a popular clip going around where a young black woman, and I say she's not young, but she's younger than me, right? Where she was talking about this very thing. How there are people out here, right? And I believe she was speaking about women, but essentially she was saying there are people out here that want other people to secure their insecurities. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. There are people out here, but what are we talking about right now? We're talking about women. There are women out here who are insecure, who are not self-assured of themselves. They're territorial. They're needy and clingy as fuck. And they want a man to secure their insecurities. What did she say? You have too much free space. Meaning, I need to keep tabs on you. You need to be calling me, texting me, and making me feel like I'm the only woman in your life. Because if I don't hear from you as frequently as I would like, if you can go without talking to me, you have too much free time on your hands and you're probably fucking with another bitch. That's essentially what she was trying to get at. You have too much free space. And she said, you're supposed to secure me. No. No. That's not anyone's job to make you feel secure. It's your job to be secure. And if you're getting into a situation where you begin to feel insecure, you need to leave it. Nobody's responsible for making you feel secure. Let me just say this real quick. Let me plug the joint. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seductive? But what is she seducing you for? Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, and this is what both men and women need to realize when they're dealing with the opposite sex. A lot of y'all motherfuckers are a fucking burden. Okay? Let me say that shit again. Both men and women. Both of y'all need to hear this. A lot of y'all motherfuckers, y'all are burdensome. You are a fucking burden. Guys, let me tell y'all this. Again, what are we talking about? Sleeping with the enemy. You're going to encounter women who only bring chaos and confusion to your life. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. You're going to be dealing with some women. You're going to encounter them at some point. All they're there to do is bring chaos and confusion to your life. You as the man, this is where having standards, boundaries, principles, dating rules, a vetting process. You need to have these things in place so you can root out those women who mean you no good. Again, when you're very first dealing with women, you don't know if she's friend or foe. Just because a woman is fucking you doesn't mean she isn't a foe or an adversary. You don't know that. You don't know that. I got clients that have been dealing with women for months. One client told me he wears a condom, but he don't carry condoms. When he goes to his girlfriend's house, she got all the condoms there, or the girl that he's fucking. When he goes to her house, she got all the condoms there. I said, why would you do that? I said, why would you entrust not only your sexual health, but why would you entrust your livelihood in a sense where what if she get pregnant and decide to keep the baby? Why would you trust her? Why would you entrust her with that? And I told him, I said, bro, bring your own condoms. I said, you don't know what she's doing. Only for him to tell me when we had a further conversation later on, he said, Zach, I think she's poking holes in the condom. I said, really now? And how did I know that was a potential? How did I know that was a potential for her to do that? How did I know? Let me tell you how I know. Okay, let me tell you how I know. What's the title? Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? Guys, if you're dealing with a woman and you don't want nothing serious with her, you just want something casual, right? Listen to what I'm telling you. You just want something casual. But if this woman is going out of her way to do certain things, what she's probably doing is basically lulling you to sleep so you don't see what's coming next. Because she has an agenda, specifically if she's constantly bugging you about you dating her more seriously. And she keeps bringing that shit up. And then she starts to do things to extract boyfriend energy from you or to extract non-sexual time, attention, and intimacy from you. An example would be this. If she's complaining that you just fuck her and leave, and she's browbeating you about spending the night, and she's browbeating you about hanging out with her, like she's trying to invite you to family gatherings or like house parties or get-togethers with her friends, and she keeps trying to invite you, and you tell her no, but she's being pushy with it, but she seems to like go quiet and she don't say shit, but you leave all the condoms at her spot. Come on, bro. Look, y'all have to understand, there's been plenty of cases where women have seduced certain guys and their whole plan was to get pregnant by that motherfucker. The old keep a nigga baby shit that some women do. Not all women, but some women do this, right? But when you're so clouded and when you're asleep because you're so focused on sex, you can't see this shit coming, right? I told the young dude, I said, yo, bro, I saw it. When he told me that she was probably poking holes in the condom, I said, bro, I already saw it coming. I'm thinking ahead. I already know. When you deal with certain, here's the thing. I want guys to understand something. And the red flags, guys, here are the red flags. Any resistance, any reluctance, anytime you're dealing with a woman who's challenging you on shit, she's trying to get you to acquiesce, she's trying to get you to put her needs, wants, and desires before your own. Any woman who does this is probably a foe. Any woman who does this could potentially be an adversary later on down the road when she don't get her motherfucking way. This is why it's important when you deal with women in the beginning. She has to make it easy. No fussing, no reluctance to what you're telling her to do, no hesitation, no resistance, no trepidation. Like clockwork, by the book. You give her a directive, she's on it. You provide her with some instructions, she's on it. The way you want to do shit, she's doing it your way. With a fucking gleeful, joyous smile on her fucking face. Anytime you're dealing with women who are always in opposition of your plans, an example is you're setting up a date. The chick don't like the date. She's trying to get you to change the venue. Here's a woman who is in direct opposition of your agenda, which means she has an alternate agenda. Anytime you deal with a woman that has an alternate agenda that she's trying to push into the equation, she's an adversary. Y'all might not look at it that deep. I do. Anytime a woman has an agenda that's in direct opposition to yours, and she consciously and purposefully tries to push her agenda in lieu of yours, she's an adversary. Sleeping with the enemy, she's seductive. But what is she seducing you for? I got this last clip, and then we're going to play it. We're about to get up out of here.
I think if you broke, you know you broke. Like, to date and to court a woman and to spend time with a woman, it costs. We're not saying that her time costs, but it costs. It costs to go have a drink. It costs to go have dinner. It costs to go to a museum. Even if you got a little cheap date on some happy hour margaritas, you're going to spend about a good 50. You know 50? What I mean? Mm-hmm. On margarita.
Gotta be more than that. $50.
Man, I don't know. I'm just putting some random happy hour number out there.
But I shouldn't have said that. My bad.
It costs. That's the point I'm making, is that it costs. So, like, if your money isn't right and you can't, like, just easily go out and spend the money that it costs to court a woman, to date a woman, that means you're probably too broke to be dating. If spending a little $50, a little $100, a little $500, whatever it is, if it's an issue to spend it, then that's how you know you're broke. But being broke is fine. I just want to say that real quick. I was broke at one point.
We all was.
I was 100% broke at one point. Thank God my dad let me move home and he paid my bills.
I'm going to have to agree with Aaron. I'm not going to put a
Okay. She said she was broke at one time. but she moved back home and her daddy paid her bills. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? So let's speak to that. Let's speak to this whole money thing. There are women who will seduce you because they believe either one, you have some money, and or you're generous with spending money. You have women that will actively seduce certain guys for that reason. Y'all know that viral video of that woman who was married. The guy lost his job. He wanted her to basically start picking up, paying some bills while he got back on his feet. And she basically said, if I pay any bills, I want my money back in 30 days. He said, I'm your husband. Why should I have to pay you back? His mistake was getting into a relationship with a woman where he couldn't foresee that she would act like that. When we talk about sleeping with the enemy and hidden agendas, the hidden agenda is you think you got a solid chick on your team. Okay? And the only reason you think she's solid is because she's with you. There is nothing that she's shown you. There is nothing that she's done. When we talk about tangible value, there is nothing that she's done to show you that she got your back, other than letting you fuck her and actually agreeing to be in a relationship with you. You have guys that automatically think that this means something. When you're dealing with a woman who is seductive and she is seducing you for an agenda that's in direct opposition to your own, when shit gets tough and you need her to hold you down, she ain't going to be there to hold you down. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive, but what is she seducing you for? In closing, let me say this about the last clip with the whole money thing. Hashtag her debit card works too. Don't let women shame you talking about it costs. Bitch, it don't cost nothing. And if you want some margaritas and shit, bitch, hit me up and you pay on your dime. Guys, they're talking about courting a woman and all this goofy ass shit. Yo, guys, it don't cost nothing. You don't have to take a woman out on a date at all. If all you want to do is bang it out, find a chick who's sexually attracted to you, you sexually attracted to her, you can fuck without spending no dough, right? And if you do want to go out every now and again, you go out at your leisure. And if that woman want to spend time with you outside of fucking, tell her she got to pay like she weigh. Tell her she got to break out that debit card and swipe that motherfucker a couple times. And if there's any hesitation or resistance to that, she's an adversary. Sleeping with the enemy. She's seductive. But what is she seducing you for? Like, share, and subscribe. Fuck with your boy on the Patreon. Peace.